Welcome everyone to another startup and automobile documentation. What we have here is a 2009 BMW 535i. This 5 Series sedan is painted in Monaco Blue Metallic. On the key fob, you have the buttons for lock, unlock, and trunk release. Storage on the front door panels. You of course get power windows, locks, and mirrors. It has the cream beige interior color scheme with Dakota leather seats. Both front seats are fully powered, and they both get the same crazy amount of adjustments. I mean, you get the bolsters, I believe this is lumbar, and then you also have two-person memory settings for both of the front seats. And then you have the manual thigh adjustments. But now that we're behind the wheel, let's go ahead and start the engine. The 5 Series is BMW's long-running contender in the midsize luxury sedan segment. Slotting between the compact executive 3 Series and the flagship 7 Series in BMW's lineup, the 5 Series directly competes with rivals like the Mercedes E-Class and Audi A6. It's already one of the most popular luxury sedans out there, but it also provides the basis for the legendary high-performance M5, a fan-favorite sports sedan among enthusiasts. The 5 Series debuted for model year 1972. Fast forward to 2024, and the model is now in its 8th generation. This 2009 model represents the 5th generation of the 5 Series, codenamed E60, which was produced in total from model years 2004 through 2010. It was made in two body styles, a 4-door sedan, as seen here, and a 5-door wagon, the latter of which using the codename E61. Upon launch, the E60 5 Series was quite controversial, mainly due to the styling, which was a radical departure from the E39 5 Series that it replaced, and BMW's lineup as a whole up to that point. However, I, and as far as I know quite a few others, think the styling of the E60 has aged like a fine wine. I actually think it has quite an understated beauty to it, especially compared to some of the more daring, in-your-face car designs of the 2020s. Plus, I think this particular one looks especially elegant in this dark blue. One more thing, the E60 generation M5 stands out as the only M5 iteration to this day to use a V10 engine. A refresh, or life cycle impulse, graced the E60 5 Series for 2008. This added some minor cosmetic updates, updated tech features, and an updated engine lineup. As for the 2009 model year US market 5 Series sedan, it came in the following trims: 528i with a 3-liter naturally aspirated inline-6, 535i as seen here with a 300 horsepower 3-liter twin-turbo inline-6, 550i with a 4.8-liter V8, and finally the top dog M5 with its 500 horsepower 5-liter V10. The 535i could be had with either a 6-speed manual or automatic transmission, along with either rear-wheel drive or xDrive all-wheel drive. The one here is a rear-wheel drive automatic. In the instrument cluster, we have 4 analog gauges. You have your speedometer and tachometer, along with your fuel gauge and your MPG gauge. You also have a digital info display. These buttons on the turn signal stalk, you can go between a few of the things: date and time, outside temperature, average speed, average fuel economy, that kind of stuff. But it has a 3-spoke design, leather-wrapped, and multifunctional steering wheel. As for controls, on this side you have your volume, along with your Bluetooth and voice command button. And then on this side you have your seat track and then 2 customizable buttons. The steering wheel is power, tilt, and telescopic. panel dimmer, fog lamps, headlight switch, climate vent for the driver. On this side you have your high beam, turn signal, and information display stock. Below that is your cruise control stock, while on this side you'll find your wiper stock. It does have automatic wipers. Going down the center of the interior, you have your iDrive infotainment screen. We'll go over the system more in a bit. Hazard switch, central climate vents, power door lock button. You have dual zone automatic climate controls in here. Temperature on either side, you have your different zones. Then you have your auto mode, fan speed, defrosters, that kind of stuff. Right here you have some physical radio controls, your volume power knob, presets, AM, FM, different modes. Then you have your CD player, and then you also have your DVD slot for the navigation system. You have a lighter and ashtray. You can use it as a power outlet as well. Your dynamic traction control toggle button is right here, along with your parking sensor toggle. And then you also have 3-stage heated front seats. A little bit of storage. Here's your electronic gear shifter. Entering reverse, it will lower the tilt down the side view mirror and also bring up your parking sensors. And as you just saw, there are also paddle shifters on the steering wheel to manually shift the transmission. Below the shifter, you can toggle your sport mode. Your hand-operated parking brake is right here. And with this knob and set of buttons, you can control the iDrive infotainment system. Center console. With some storage, you also have a USB port and an aux port. The glove box is lockable. And you have 2 cup holders. Both sun visors have vanity mirrors, lights, and card holders. Auto-dimming rear view with your garage home link. Overhead lighting, roadside assistance, and your power sunroof controls, which are one-touch automatic. Grab handles at all 4 corners. Alright, and here is the iDrive infotainment system. So you use this knob, you can scroll with it, or you can click up, down, left, or right. So this is the home screen. You have 4 kind of quadrants. You go over to climate, and it's a pretty substantial system, this iDrive. It's very clunky and cumbersome to use. I mean, it's like 15 years old, obviously. But it's very substantial. It has a lot of different options. So you do your temperature, your climate controls right here, vent settings, your automatic programs. You can even like distribute where the heat in the heated seats will go, if you just want it just on the bottom or just on the top or both. Which I was pretty surprised when it came to that. Seems like something like a much more modern car would have to, distribute precisely where the heat in the heated seat goes. I go back to menu. You have communication. You do have Bluetooth telephone. I'm not going to go into all the settings, nitty-gritty of that kind of stuff. Just the basics of it. But you have navigation now. Back to menu, that was navigation, then there's entertainment. So you have AM, FM, plus weather band, and then your CD player, auxiliary, and then AM, FM, and then this mode button will toggle as well between your AM, FM, weather band, that kind of stuff. Then you hit option, that's a shortcut button. All sorts of audio settings, equalizer, again, options. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here. And I know it's taking me a while. It's kind of getting pretty boring because most of it is just me clicking the knob around trying to get to menus. But that's just a brief overview of the iDrive system in this 09 5 Series. But now we'll roll down the driver's window and have a look at the engine bay. All 4 windows are fully automatic. Power trunk release is right there. The 535i Sport package included these 18-inch 7-spoke alloy rims. Powering the 535i is BMW's N54 3-liter twin-turbocharged inline-6 engine. It has an aluminum block and head as well as dual overhead camshafts, 4 valves per cylinder, direct injection, and double Vanos. Horsepower is rated at 300 at 5,800 RPM, while torque is rated at 300 pound-feet from 1,400 to 5,000 RPM. This car uses a 6-speed automatic transmission with a manual shifting mode, sending power to the rear wheels. Running on premium unleaded with an 18.5-gallon fuel tank, EPA estimates are 17 mpg in the city and 26 mpg on the highway for a 535i like this one. It has a double pivot front suspension, a multi-link rear suspension, and 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes. Curb weight is roughly 3,700 pounds for a rear-wheel drive automatic 535i. You have storage on the back door panels, along with ashtrays. Both front seats have map pockets on the backs. Rear passengers do get their own climate vents, along with their own climate control. You have your temperature knob, and you also have 2 12-volt power outlets. You can also fold down the center seat back to reveal some storage and 2 cup holders. Of course, they made a station wagon body style of this Generation 5 Series. I would love to film one of those, but I almost never see them. And of course, this is the Generation 5 Series with a M5 had a V10 in it. So that automatically makes it pretty cool. I think this is a really good looking interior, particularly like the fine wood trim. Makes it look all the more upscale. It kind of has that, especially with the infotainment system, with the iDrive, it kind of has that outdated mid-2000s car kind of charm to it, in my opinion. Space back here, I'm about 6'1" with the driver's seat in a pretty comfortable position. I guess I could have it up a little bit further. It's not quite as great of legroom as I would expect for being, you know, competitor to the Mercedes E-Class, Audi A6. But headroom is actually really good. Headroom is particularly good for a 4-door sedan. Footroom's pretty good, and legroom is still pretty sufficient. It's not uncomfortable in the slightest. It's still a very, very comfortable back seat. It's just not as cavernous and limousine-like as one might expect. But nonetheless, very comfortable. Interesting to check out an older BMW like this one. Dual exhausts. The trunk of the 5 Series sedan offers 14 cubic feet of space. And as you saw earlier, the fuel cap is on the passenger side. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2009 BMW 5 Series. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.